All right, so today we are going to continue our adventure in solving inequalities. Okay, we have done one-step inequalities where we talked about adding or subtracting a number to both sides. We talked about multiplying or dividing a number to both sides. Preston, what happens when we divide or multiply by a negative number? The inequality is going to switch, okay? Now, today we're going to talk about what if we are working towards a quiz on Wednesday, okay? So we're going to talk about multi-step inequalities today. We will practice them again on Monday, and we will review Tuesday for a quiz Wednesday, just so you kind of know what's coming up. All right. So on this page, you have a nice blank space for some notes. Okay. Let's talk about what our order was for when we had multi-step equations. Okay. And we'll adjust them for our multi-step inequalities. Okay, our first step was to do a certain operation that started with a D. Not division. Distribute. We distributed. Now, maybe we need to combine. Yes, combine like terms. Now, once you have combined like terms on each side, I guess I should probably throw that in there. Okay, then we're going to have to decide where we're going to move our variables and where we're going to move our constants. Okay, so I would like you to always move your variables before your constants. Okay, so move your variables to one side. And then you're going to move your constants to the other. Now, you get to be in control of which side you pick for each of these. But you know that if we are going to graph these inequalities, it is a lot easier to work with an inequality where the variable's on the left side. Okay, that's kind of my strategy. You don't have to follow the same thing. You can always rewrite it at the end. Some of you are going to dislike negative coefficients for your variable. Okay, you do what works for you, but we need one side for the variables, one side for the constant. Okay, at that point, you're going to have a coefficient with your variable. So you'll have to divide by the coefficients. But be careful. Why am I saying be careful? Flip your inequality if you're dividing by a negative number. Yep. So even though the fire drill took out a chunk of our time, that's okay. All we're doing is practicing these inequalities, okay? And it's not going to feel a whole lot different from when we did equations. We just have to be careful with the inequality sign.
So does the inequality only flip when you divide? Or when you multiply?
Or multiply. So that is a good point, okay? I was talking specifically about dividing by the coefficient, which is why I only wrote that. But let's go ahead and add in multiply or divide by negative is when it flips. Thank you, Reagan.
No, I was just like a lot.
You're good. You're good. Okay. All right. So which one do I want to do first? Go ahead and let's do a couple problems first, okay? Okay, I want to look at number 1. Okay. Right now, we don't need to worry about distribute. Where's your journal? Thank you for getting the locker. Okay, we can at least write these down. That's okay. We don't need to distribute or combine like terms, but we do need to move our constants to one side and our variables to the other side. So Peyton Wright, what would you do if you were in charge of this problem? Add 2 to both sides. So now we have 3x is less than 12. Okay, Amy, what would you do next? Oh, just 3, because we want to keep the x, right? So we get that x is less than 4. So we will have an open circle at 4, and we will shade. Voila. I'm pretty good. Also, this helps me make straight lines and perfect circles. See, watch. It's amazing. Okay. All right. Solve number 2. Without me, solve number 2. Ready, set, go. You have 45 seconds. Solve number 2. With a little bit more, a little bit quicker pace. A little bit quicker. Got it. Does this mean yes? Like, I don't know what pinky means. Like, I thought maybe you were going to go like this, which would have made a little bit more sense than this.
That's my thumb.
Pinky's up. Okay.
Pinky rings in the air.
Okay. Another one. Nirvana, what do we do? Subtract 8 to both sides. So we get 4a is greater than negative 8. Then what do we do? Nirvana. Okay, I have a question. Because that 8 is negative, do I flip the sign? No, I do not. I did not multiply or divide by a negative. So at -2, we have a closed circle and we shade the right. So far, does this feel like we've done this before?
Yeah.
I mean, you change the inequality to an equal sign and we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's look at number 3 together. It's going to be just fine. Okay, let's vote. Do we move the 2 first or the -3 first? I said we're going to vote. Who votes for 2? Who votes for -3? The 2s are correct. There was a right or wrong answer. Hold on. I'm sorry. 2 would have won anyway. So 2 is being added to the entire fraction. So we need to get rid of the 2 before we can get rid of the -3. So we're going to subtract 2 to both sides. 3 minus 2 is?
-1.
How about just a normal 1? Sounds good. Okay. Now, Kane, to get B by itself, what do we have to do with the -3? We have to multiply. Oh my goodness, we are multiplying by a negative number. So B is going to be greater than or equal to -3. Do you have a question about the problem, Colin? Okay, you and your elbow partner work together on solving number 4. Sorry, did that hurt you? I totally just like jabbed you with my diamond.
Oh, good. I'm fine. I'm a grown man.
What?
I'm a grown man.
Okay. Good idea, Carter. Thank you. We're working on number 4. Come on.
For after
All right. Nathan, what do we do first? Let's add 6 to both sides. So we get -c over 2 is greater than 2. -2. Thank you, Preston. Now what do I do, Preston? Multiply -2 to both sides. So we get C is, everybody, less than 4. Cool. All right. Let's look at number 8 together. And by number 8, I mean number 5. But the first number is an 8. Sorry. Okay. Holden, what is the very first step that we wrote down in our list of steps? It was definitely distribute. Okay. So we are going to distribute if necessary. So we have 8 is less than or equal to -4D minus 4. Andrew, you're in control of this problem. What do you do?
So you add 4 to 8?
Okay, you want to add 4 to both sides?
Yeah.
So that we have 12 is less than or equal to -4D, right?
And then we divide by -4, which is -3.
Okay, but we have to be careful, right? We're dividing by a negative number, right? So we know that 12 divided by -4 is a -3, but our sign has to flip. Okay, now to help 2 people, to help Mrs. Holman and to help you, D is less than or equal to -3. It is. But if you're going to graph it, it's a lot easier to look at this symbol with D on the left and get your graph to be correct. Okay. Okay. Estelle asked a good question. Okay. So I just want to reiterate. Yes, these 2 things I've highlighted in green mean the same thing. However, this one that I boxed just helps us when we graph. on our number line. When our variable's on the left, it's a lot easier for us to graph. All right, turn the page. And by turn the page, I mean move her over. Okay, let's talk about, we're going to talk about number 6 and we're going to talk about number 7. Now, in number 6, I want to solve this inequality. I have constants on both sides. I have variables on both sides. Since we get to move both variables and constants, what side did I say would be a lot better for you to group your variables together? The left side. So I think that it would be a good idea for you. Okay, it's gonna be a better idea for us to add 4n to both sides. That way we have 5 plus 2n is greater than 8. Okay, now our variables on the left side. Seth, what do we need to do with that 5? We need to subtract it. Okay, so if we subtract 5 to both sides, we get 2n is greater than. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have a fraction. Bless you. I would like you to keep this as 3/2. Now, what else could you write it as? That would be fine, or 1.5, okay? But 3/2 looks, just trust me on it, okay? It'll help us with algebra later on down the road. All right, now number 7 is a very important one to talk about. Peyton already sees what's happening. Okay. Holden, what should we do to both sides?
How do I subtract 6?
Okay, we want to get the h's to the left side. So I'm going to take this 6h and we're going to subtract it to both sides. Uh-oh. Negative 18 is less than 1. Avery, how often is negative 18 less than 1?
Always.
Like always or never? Always. So we have infinitely many solutions.
Infinite many.
All real numbers satisfy this inequality. You can pick any number and plug it in and it'll work.
2 and 2.
6 times 2 minus 18 is less than 6 times 2 plus 1. We could go at this all day. It's always going to be true.
1.
Now, what if the inequality sign was the other way around? So let's go to number 9. Okay. First of all, raise your hand and tell me what the first thing we need to do in number 9 is. Peyton, combine like terms. 3j plus 6 is less than negative 2 plus 3j. Yes, the board is this way. Okay. Now, Estelle, I want variables on the left side. So what do we need to do? We need to subtract 3j. Uh-oh. 6 is less than negative 2. No. No solution. No.
Maybe.
Hey, Amy, what time does it say we get out of here?
139.
38. Okay, thank you.
What was your gift?